Welcome to another episode of Think About It. How are you all today? I hope you had a good week. I certainly did, because I was looking forward to this week's episode. This week is even going to be more interactive and engaging. I have somebody in the studio with me who's going to think with me. She's my thinking partner for today. So, and interestingly, she's the writer-producer of the radio drama series we just listened to, In Transit. But her name is Yetunde Adenike. There was this very morbid bystander. No, are there really people like that?
Oh, wow, you'll be amazed.
And they're not doing anything. They're just there on the scene, but
they're just there to give you, worst possible scenarios.
Why?
Some people are just fatalistic.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Think About It, and I'm your host, Dear Durand. Once again, I'm excited to have a guest in the house. But this time around, I have a Think expert. So, my Think expert for today is Mrs. Omobolanle Edwards. Bola is a road safety expert and a child safety advocate. Hello, Bola.
Hello, Didi. So glad to be here.
Bola runs an NGO that is particularly created for children and child safety. Our first feedback comes from Gloria from Ikeja, Lagos. Gloria said she knows now to call the emergency number 767 and 112. And also said that, and I will read what she says. She says, I have been challenged to have a first aid kit in my car, not only for vehicle accidents, but in case something comes up for anyone at any time. Good to hear your feedback, Gloria. Really good. I'm happy that, just listening to us, has made you aware that we have emergency numbers you can call and that you are actually taking a positive action by getting yourself a first aid kit in your car. Well done. Bola, what do you have to say to Gloria?
Fantastic.
Okay, so this other one comes from Bobby from Ikeja, Lagos. And Bobby says he would like to hear in detail exactly what steps to take at an accident scene, the case scenario we gave. So he specifically asked for an emergency expert. So that's why I dragged you up in here. Bola, tell us what you have to say to Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby, it's quite easy. Like Didi said earlier on, that we should have a safety kit in our vehicle. Very, very important. It's key. A fire extinguisher and some other things that you can use to rescue a victim at an accident scene. And perhaps you find yourself as the first responder at an accident scene. It's very, very key that you take into cognizance the following steps. It's very important that there is a warning sign. There is a warning sign. We've seen situations where people just gather around, not even putting a sea caution or to show that something had happened. You just see chaos. So it's very important you have a warning sign. And of course, secondly, you must try as much as possible to reduce risk. And you do this by making sure that if the car is, the engine is running, switch it off so that you don't have an explosion. And thirdly, try and get help. That's the third thing to do. Call emergency number 112-767. And of course, they will ask for your own line as well. Make sure your line is with emergency guys on the other side. Then, of course, you must describe with landmarks exactly where the accident did take place. It's very important for proper navigation so that they won't have to waste any more time before getting to the place. Then, of course, describe exactly what has happened. You could give a scenario like the Okada guy is bleeding, the driver of the vehicle is also unconscious. This can give them, a start.
Okay, Bola, that means from what you're saying, whoever it is that's calling the emergency must be somebody who is calm enough,
absolutely,
has the presence of mind to actually say what's going on. Because that means if I pick the phone and say,
no, you're not helping you're not helping yourself, you're not helping the victims, and you're not helping the emergency guy on the other side.
How many people can be that calm?
You see, it takes a lot of state of mind to do that.
Okay.
You just have to be very calm so that information is passed easily and people can understand what exactly had happened.
All right. We have another one from Jumoke from Anthony in Lagos. Jumoke said, and I read, I will speed off without looking back.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah. And this one, I want to hear what you have to say. She says that the last time she tried to be a good Samaritan, she paid for it dearly. It was a traumatic experience. And she goes on to say, I do care about people and I would love to help, but I don't want to go through the same thing I went through the last time I tried to help somebody. Okay. I can almost see a number of other people nodding in agreement with you, okay? So, Ola, over to you.
Yeah, I really can't blame Jumoke. If it were myself, Bolanle of about, say, 15 years ago, I'll probably do the same. We're in a country where helping others has become an issue, it's a problem, because you begin to pay for sins that you never committed. So really, I understand where she's coming from. But I would also encourage people out there, don't ever give up helping people. It has to do a lot with the conscience. It has to do with your person, your individuality. So it's not about what the enforcement is going to do to you. Yes, that can be quite painful. You pay for things that you did not do. Yes. But I'm telling you, your conscience will definitely tell you that you haven't done well. So never you get tired of doing good.
The next question I have comes from Damilola Daramola, who happens to live in the United Kingdom. And it's like a response to Jumoke's question. And Damilola would like to know how law enforcement contribute to the sanity or chaos when they arrive at an accident scene. She says, is there a cordon placed around the scene to keep the public back so that the personnel can get through? Damilola, you must have lived in UK for a long time. Cordon what? But seriously though, I really don't think it's too far-fetched for us to achieve that in Nigeria. So anyway, let me leave Bola to answer Damilola at this juncture.
It sounds foreign, like you said, like you're watching the movie.
Area.
Yes, but it's that's in a very healthy situation. That is what is obtainable. Yeah. Really, that's what should be done. When you see safety experts and people who have actually gone through trainings, this is exactly what they should do.
Right.
If someone had called, the first people I would expect to get there are the emergency guys.
Okay.
You know, they come in the ambulance. You know, condone of the place. They can actually condone of the place.
But do they do it?
They do. Yes, because
wow.
there's a particular distance between the accident victims and the onlookers, the bystanders. There should be some form of few meters away,
right,
so that they can have enough room to respond properly to the accident victims.
Okay, I have two questions for you. I've heard about the psychological term called the bystander effect, or it can also be known as the bystander apathy, which, for example, was displayed in the drama, where we had a very morbid bystander while some other people were trying to get something done. She was just, So I'm just wondering, this condition, have you seen it at an accident scene? How bad does it affect, or is it just not a big deal? It
is a big deal.
Can you tell us
it is a big deal. Bystanders are just basically people, their presence discourages others from helping. They're just there doing nothing.
Wow.
And they're not also helping you to assist the people who are involved in this accident.
But my thought is, it's not as if they don't want to help, but the presence of other people, or simply put, they think, somebody thinks somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So nobody else does anything.
They're just waiting.
So I'm thinking, could it be a knowledge gap? Rather than, maybe they're just there, they don't, because,
I'll give a scenario. Yes, that's number one, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And secondly, different school of thought.
Okay.
Some don't know, and the ones who know would rather just stay back and look, take pictures and do the videos. And there are all the people who don't even have what it takes to do it. Maybe they're not equipped at that point in time. I'm not feeling so healthy myself, I can't really do this. But they would have really loved to help. But of course, they can call out to others to help them.
I think there's really has to be a lot more awareness, because for what I keep ringing in my heart is the knowledge gap. My next question is this: the number 767 and 112. It just occurred to me. Is it a national emergency number? And I suspect it's not, because it occurred to me that we have listeners all over. We just got one from Damilola in the UK. So 767 is just what? For Lagos?
Lagos State.
Oh, wow.
It's Lagos State. Strictly Lagos.
All right. So you listeners, remember, think about it is engaging for all of us. But, we will banter. We will engage each other as much as we can. So I would suggest that you find out from your local government chairperson, or just find out from Where can they find out from? Because I'm not even sure where they should go.
Internet.
The internet?
The internet,
Really?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Every state should have a website. So,
okay.
like Lagos
Can
does
you hear?
anyway.
Okay, look for your state website. Go online and find out whether your state has an emergency number. And I'll be curious to hear your feedback. I'd like to know, that'll be nice to find out how many states have emergency numbers and perhaps how effective your state emergency numbers are. Okay. We'll take another quick break now and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is Think About It, and I'm your host, Dear Durand. I have some takeaway questions for you, our gracious listeners. Okay, before we went on a break, Mrs. Omobolanle Edwards, our Think expert for today, and now we're going through some questions and feedback we received from our listeners last week. Bola, as she's popularly called, is a road safety expert and child safety advocate. We'll be rounding off shortly, but before we go, here are some more questions from Damilola Daramola. One, she would like to know, are city dwellers more likely to help than those living in the rural areas? So these are your takeaway questions. So that means your comments and feedback about the program and these questions are the things that I would like to hear from you before our next episode. Right. So she also wants to know, does religion play a part in how we respond to emergencies? Those are two questions from Damilola Daramola. Then I have one final question from Amanda A from Lekki, Lagos. And Amanda is asking, how should we react in an emergency? With our heads or with our hearts? For example, would you give a total stranger mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? Okay, I want to hear from you. So think about the questions, think about them carefully, think them through. Please give cogent answers and send your response to my Facebook page at Dear Duran. I would like you, however, to bear in mind that further discussion and conclusion of this topic will continue online via the Think About It Facebook page. Because, truth be told, some of these questions and topics cannot be exhausted in weeks and months, perhaps some even years. But by the next week, we're going to be moving on to another topic. We can continue our conversation and reach a mutually beneficial conclusion online via my Facebook page. Right, so I just said to mention that to you. So don't be discouraged. You can keep the questions coming in. The conversations behind the scenes can still keep going on. It doesn't have to stop. Because more than anything, we're all learning. So it's not, and learning never ends anyways. Right. At this juncture, it's bye for now. Thanks to everyone who's been a part of today's program. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. I would like to say a big thank you to our listeners who sent in their feedback, comments, and questions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bola.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, for sharing with us from your wealth of knowledge, and I'm looking forward to having you back.
I'll be glad to come back.
Great. I would also like to thank our media partners, Behavior Modification Media, and the management of Crystal Media 360 Radio for their support. Thank you, and looking forward to catching up with you next week. Bye for now.